NUMSA-affiliated workers at an agency responsible for bus fare collection for the city of Tshwane are on strike, affecting bus operations and leaving commuters stranded. The workers are demanding a 2,500 rand transport allowance and a 60 rand per hour night shift allowance. Now, for the latest on the disruptions and the strike, we cross to our reporter, Ofentse Setimo, who's covering this for us. Ofentse, what's the latest on the strike? Because it's quite amazing that we're seeing buses operating. What's going on?
Morning, Leanne, and morning to your viewers as well. Yes, there's actually some confusion here in the capital city as we saw the buses actually operating. This after the city of Tshwane had announced yesterday that it was suspending all bus operations in the city center. This to protect their infrastructure and also to protect the staff members that actually operate these buses. So this morning when we woke up, we were actually anticipating to see, frustrated faces of commuters actually waiting for buses, but that wasn't the case. In fact, when we arrived here, we are just outside the Pretoria High Court. We just saw loads of buses actually picking people up. There's even one that's on the screen actually passing now. So what we understand is that the REM, which is the BRT bus service here in Tshwane, it's still not operational. It's just that a skeletal staff that's actually operating there, where you'll find the security guards and the cleaners are the ones that are operating. And we also spoke to the NUMSA unionist, Frederick Mabasa, who was actually telling us that the strike is still continuing. It's just that for some reason the city of Tshwane decided to lift the suspension of the buses, but the BRT itself, there's still no movement there, and the only people we saw were actually skeleton staff. But we're going to get clarity from the city of Tshwane, as they had not actually given an update after they had told us that the buses would not be operating out of fear that maybe the striking NUMSA affiliated employees for Extreme Tech might disrupt services. In fact, NUMSA had also issued a warning to commuters to say that there won't be any buses and they should make alternative arrangements. But when we spoke to commuters this morning, they explained that the information that the buses would not be operational did not actually reach them. Most of them were actually left frustrated yesterday morning when they came to the bus stops, only to find that there were no buses and they had to make alternative arrangements to try and get transport to go to their different destinations. When we spoke to the city of Tshwane this morning, they just said, the spokesperson Lindela Mashihu said he would need an update because there were meetings that were held between the unionists and labor and the employers, because you understand that the initial strike that actually began yesterday is from the union affiliated employees that work at Extreme Tech, which is an agency that collects bus fares for the city of Tshwane. So it's not yet clear, because they were saying that even other employees from other agencies that work for the city of Tshwane are going to embark on a strike, seeking that 2.5 allowance and also a 60 rand night shift allowance, 60 rand per hour night shift allowance. So we are still following the story. We're going to get an update from the city of Tshwane just to find out what is transpiring, if maybe there is some sort of a compromise that they made overnight, because the unions are actually saying that the strike is still proceeding, and in fact they're still going to march to Tshwane House on Monday, and this one will include the Tshwane buses, it will include the BRT, it will be all the role players within the supply chain of bus services here in Tshwane. So we're going to find out what exactly is transpiring this morning, as we had not anticipated to see the buses operating at this time. Leanne?
All right, Ofentse, thanks very, very much. We'll cross to you when you get a little bit more clarity as to what's going on. Quite an interesting one, where you actually see a strike, you worry about it, you make alternative plans, and then the buses are actually working. We'll cross over to Ofentse Setimo again later on. This is that bus strike in Pretoria.